Hello, lighting designers, lighting enthusiasts, and my 3 Twitter followers. I'm Chris Munson. I'm the lead developer for something we like to call the Hyperion Project, which is a technical collaboration that aims to build a better breed of lighting console. And today, I'm here to talk to you about why our console is better than your console. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is actually the most fundamental part of our lighting console, and that's the group structure. So through the group structure, you can select the fixtures that you're going to do whatever you're going to do to. So first, I'm going to select this lighting fixture right here. I'm just going to turn it on. That was easy. Now say I want to select a larger grouping. And we have all the lighting fixtures divided up into logical groups. Say you've got some on the truss, some on the floor, some at a mid position. Say I want to turn all the fixtures at the mid position on. Easy. Say I want to turn all of my intelligent fixtures on. There you go. And you're able to just select these groups much more quickly than you would be able to do in your normal lighting console. And say I want to apply positioning to all of the lights in my rig. I can just select the whole rig, apply that, change color, and you see that only the lights that actually have the abilities to do those changes are showing those changes. So if I do a positioning change, and I've got some conventional lighting here, these aren't going to show that position change because obviously I can't control the conventional light with positioning like that. So there you go. That's grouping. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is our method for playing back your lighting show. We've gone with a timeline-based approach, which if you have done any audio or video editing, it'll be a very familiar interface for you. What it allows us to do is quickly and easily make adjustments to our cues. So say I want to adjust the length of this cue, I can just grab the handle here and drag it out. If I want to adjust the fade time, there we go. If I want to reorder it, I can just drag it around, and there we go. Also, something that is a little bit different with what we've done is we have a nested cue structure here. So say I want to select an entire verse. I can click on the verse, and I can move that whole verse around. Or say I want to rearrange it and put the verse before the chorus here. Done. Another thing you'll notice is that we have an audio track here. And we have the ability to very easily synchronize our lighting cues to an audio track. Since we can see the waveforms here, we can see exactly where the instrumental hits are and easily align our lighting changes to that without having to do a lot of extra work to make that happen. Very simple. The next thing I want to talk to you about is group tracking. This is a tracking console, which essentially means when you record a cue, instead of recording every attribute of every lighting fixture, it only records what's been changed since the last cue. What we've done that's a little bit different with this is instead of recording the fixture data, we're recording the group data. So say I want to take the intelligent group and I'm going to turn it red. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a cue in here. Now when I select this, you'll see the contents of this cue. All it has is just the changes to the intelligent group. It's not storing the information for every single lighting fixture. So what this means is if I want to make an adjustment to this, I can just go ahead and make a change, and then it's going to be reflected right there. And I didn't have to go through and change every single fixture, I just changed the group. Benefit of this is that say you write your entire lighting show, and then say 5 weeks down the road you decide, alright, I'm going to toss another 5 fixtures into this show. Well, if you just drop them into any specific group, those fixtures are going to do whatever everything else in the group is doing. And it should make your life a lot easier in that regard because you don't have to go back through all of your cues and make adjustments for that individual fixture. It's just there. Next on my list is the way that we've gone about our fixture profile system. So what we've tried our best to do is to make it so that you don't have to deal with the way that particularly low-end lighting manufacturers set up their fixtures. And one of the biggest things that you have to deal with is when they stack different attributes on the same channel. So say your lighting fixture only has a shutter in it. So what they're doing is they're taking one channel and making it so it's controlling the intensity and controlling the shutter for strobe. So what we've done is we've isolated those. So even if they're doing that, intensity is still going to give me a 0 to 100% range where if I'm at 100%, the light is at 100%. If I'm at 0, it's off. And anywhere in there, it's what you expect it to be. And then it moves those secondary attributes into a different panel, and you just make those adjustments there where it makes sense to have them happen. So you're not accidentally turning a shutter on when you meant to turn your intensity up. Another thing that this allows us to do fairly easily is set up a color picker for colors. Even if your fixture is not an RGB fixture or CMY fixture, it just will pick the closest color to what you have based on what you select. Okay, last thing I want to talk to you about is the effects system. And I gotta say, I am just really excited about the effects system in this console. And it's mostly because of how powerful it is. What we did is we went with a scripting-based system for all of our effects. So all of our effects are just Python scripts that anyone can open and read and edit and make their own and do whatever they want to do with. And that opens the door to do some just crazy things with it. And I'll go ahead and show you some basic stuff that you can do with it, and then I'll talk about some of the more out there things that I've done with it. So first thing is something really simple. I'm just going to make all of the lights randomly flash. So I click on that. It applies that effect to anything that's selected there, and it's just randomly turning them on and off. So very simple. Say I want to do something a little bit more complicated. I'm going to go ahead and do a circle effect, and this is all it's doing is just rotating the lighting fixtures in a circle, and it's doing it relative around wherever they're focused right now. So I can adjust the scale on this effect, I can adjust the rate, and if I want them to be moving in an asynchronous fashion, I can adjust the offset, and then they're all offset. Still very simple. Another thing that we can do with this is we can stack effects. So I'm just going to throw that random flash effect on there, and now it's doing both of them at once. And I can keep on stacking effects like this indefinitely, and it just keeps processing the first one, then the next, then the next, and the next, on and on and on. And it works great. So all fairly simple stuff. Now I'm going to talk about some of the more complicated stuff that you can do with it. So this is kind of a bit more out there setup. A while back, I did this show where we did this backdrop. It was about 70 feet wide, and it was 108 LED panels that were DMX controllable, and they were just set up in this giant screen array. And we used the lighting console to basically produce content for those panels. And so this is kind of a mock-up of how we had that set up. So I've got all of my LED panels in groups here. They are nothing more than lighting fixtures. I can do exactly what I do with any other lighting fixtures with them. Now we wanted to do some more complicated stuff. So for instance, we had this effect we wanted to do where it looked like there was fire kind of lapping up from the bottom of the screen. Well, it took me all of about 20 minutes to write an effect that did that, and it's essentially mapping a randomly generated texture across these lights, and it was pretty darn easy to make happen and very effective. We're also able to do pixel mapping, where we can take video images and use them to control different attributes on the lights. For instance, here we're using it to control the color and intensity, and we're just mapping it across the array of lights, just like we were doing previously. And then just for kicks, because I had too much time on my hands or something apparently, I made a Pong game that you can play through the lighting console. So I'm going to throw that on there, and it functions like you would expect Pong to function. You have control over the paddles, the ball bounces and is reflected where it's supposed to. It's completely interactive, and, well, it's Pong. Not to say that there's really a whole lot of use for that particular thing, but it shows you the power of what you could actually do with it if you wanted. And it's just crazy the amount of stuff that you can do. I don't know how you get more powerful in what you're able to accomplish than what this can do. It's really cool, and I'm just stoked about what you can do with it. I love playing with it myself. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk to you about. And if you have any questions or comments, please send me an email, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to talk with you more. And thanks for watching this video.